Alright, hey guys. So today is Friday. Uh, I'm a little cooked. I decided it's just so nice out here in Alabama today that I was like, man, I gotta go hit up the beach and do my upper body workout at the beach. So I brought 65 pounds with me to the beach, 30-pound dumbbell, and my 35-pound kettlebell. Got a nice little upper body workout out there. Chilled on the beach for a little while, and then I even put on some running shoes and ran about nothing too far a mile. I'm starting to try to run even on my lift days. I used to only run Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and I would do upper bodies Monday and Friday, and Wednesday would be calisthenics or weights with legs, and then Sunday is kind of just mobility rest. But now over the last week or so, I've been starting to tell myself like, hey, even if it's only a half mile, even on your lift days, try to run like a half mile. So I ran a mile at the beach after my lift and after I was chilling. And what I've noticed is that's really helping with the endurance side of things. Because if I can be kind of upper body physically exhausted and then still move my lower body, because yesterday was Thursday, was a run day for me. I ran 5 miles. And then, so my legs are still really sore. So, you're lifting with upper body, and then you're still running on kind of sore legs. That's just going to kind of really help my endurance portion so much, I guess you could say. But, to the shave. So we're still on Zingari Man. I think on my last video I used number 1. I'm pretty sure you guys saw in when I was on a Forget binge not too long ago, maybe like a week, 2 weeks ago, I used Zingari Man's Mousse Illumine. I think that's what it is, Mousse Illumine. And so I'm not sure if I'm gonna use that again, even though I'm on Zingari Man, just because I did use it just like a week ago. I know I like it. I know I'm gonna keep that shit because it's bold and banging. So I have 2 other Zingari Mans, I think, back there. And one of those is the Master, which is the barbershop. Really great. It's one of those ones that it was in my fall-winter rotation, but I brought it back to my spring-summer rotation because it is more of a warm, spicy scent. But I think you can still get away with it in spring and summer. At least so far I can. Maybe in another month when it's really hot, I'll be like, oh yeah, probably not going to be using this one for a while. But today it's another kind of warm, spicy, but it's a lot more mellow, I think, than Master. Completely different sense, but same kind of genre with this one, and that is the Merchant. And those are the scent notes right there. I like it how Zingari Man puts them there. Amber, vanilla, and spices. And I love, love, love the artwork on this. It's like a Middle Eastern little alleyway with a little market right there. I gotta be honest, I don't really get the whole Middle Eastern vibe, and I can say that. I spent a lot of time in the Middle East when I was in the Marine Corps. I deployed to Iraq in 06, 07, and in 08, and I was in Afghanistan in 2012. So I haven't done maybe a whole lot of tourism type stuff in the Middle East, but I spent a lot of time in the Middle East doing the military, and I even did get to do a little vacation over in I forget what country it was now. It's a small little country, beautiful little country. Maybe UAE. That might have been it. I forget. But I was only there for 10 days on a little vacation through the military. So I don't get a Middle Eastern vibe, even though the artwork shows that. I still love the artwork, though. Classic. I think Zingari Man kills it with the artwork. It's she always does it. It's simple, but I don't know, just always gorgeous to me. It's like that. I look at that and I'm like, man, I could hang that on my wall. That's a picture I can hang on my wall. So she doesn't do anything high right, super cool, like a Star Wars theme or anything. But all of her labels, I always love them. They're just simple and beautiful. We do have the puck over here with warm water in it. Just because it is a harder base, we do have the matching splash, which is also cloudy, just like all of hers. And also has the frosted bottle. I'm going to do a head shave, and I'm going to do a quick cleanup on the neck. On the neck, I am going to use the PA cube. I'm not so sure about the head yet. I was wearing a hat at the beach, so I'm not too cooked on top of my head, to be honest. But you can tell I'm pretty red on the rest of my freaking body. For today's brush, we have it soaking over here. And on my last two videos, I've been using B15. I used the Spooky B15 for the 2 videos ago. My last video, I used the Somber Hour B15. And this is my third and final B15. And this is going to be a beautiful pour called Cotton Candy. And right off the bat, you can just tell why it's called Cotton Candy, right? It's that cotton candy pink and blue look. I have a B16 brush that is actually very similar in looks. It's called 2077. It's pink and blue like this, but it's different. The blue is a little bit more of a darker blue, and the pink is a little bit more of a neon-ish pink. And the sparkling in it is a little bit different. Side by side, they're very similar. But when you get them up close and you really look at them, you can tell the difference. One thing that you can't even probably see in this one is it has some really great shine to it. Like almost like a hologram style of shine to it. Like on the pink right here, there's like white glitter throughout this brush that really looks great on those pink spots. Really great pour, to be honest. This is one of those ones that I saw it and I was like, man, I want that pour. It's fucking sick. I love it. Because you don't see things like this that are kind of unusual and wild too often with brush makers. Like a hot pink and blue one. And I got lucky like 3 weeks after I saw the pour, and I was like, man, if I can find a good knot in one, I will buy it. And it just so happens in one of the forums, somebody decided to sell this with a B15 knot. I knew I loved the B15 knot, so it worked out perfect. And again, just look at that, man. This is a big reason why I love the shaving hobby so much. It's just the cool gear you can get and like how unique. Like, even though all 3 of my B15 knots are very similar, I couldn't tell the difference. Visually, they do look a little different from each other, but face feel, and head feel, I couldn't tell the difference of them. But, you know, when you know you love a knot like this, and that I can get it in multiple cool-looking handles, I just find that so unique, especially when, you know, they do cost a little bit of money. And we're just going to temp this out. We're going to start loading. And this is a little bit darker of a pour. It looks a little lighter right now just because I had it moisturizing with some water. But, you know, some of these brushes are a little expensive. But in the big scale of things in life, I think they're really cheap. You know, like something like this you can get for like on the used market for probably $3 to $3.50 if you can find one. Maybe a little bit more. But B15 probably $3 to $3.50, I would assume. And you know, they're little, so they're easy to compact, right? Like, you know, analogy to like other hobbies, like, you know, if you're into cars, a car's a big thing. Like, you can only have so many because of storage issues, right? And then just hugely costs. With brushes, though, even at like, you know, $300 a piece, 10 of them is $3 grand, and you can store 10 of them in a little tiny drawer. And the thing is, with something like this, they're going to last you a lifetime. At least I hope they do. It's kind of the same thing with razors. To me, razors, people like scoff at like a $500 razor, a $400 razor, a $1,000 razor. But what they don't understand is, even if you're spending $1,000 on a razor, like $1,000 to get something, say you bought it at 20. You know, say you bought it at 40 years old. I'm 39. So say I bought it at 39, right? Say if I only live to like the average age for male, it's like 76. That's 49, that's 59, that's 69, that's 79. That's almost 30 years. $1,000 on something that's going to last me 30 years. If you're in your 20s and you spend $1,000 on a razor, there's an extra 20 years almost. I mean, you're talking about something that lasts years. So then you do the math on that with how often you use it and break it down for how many years you keep it, and you're talking about it's going to be pennies, like less than pennies for each and every use. There's like nothing in the world that you spend on that has such like a low cost, if you ask me. And it's the same thing with the brushes. You know, it's crazy. I was looking at stats on, and this goes for Americans, like what the average car payment is now. It's now like $500 to $700 and some dollars a month. You know, people scoff at people I know because they spend $1,000 on a razor. But then these same people that are scoffing at this guy because he spent $1,000 on a razor, they have $600 car payments, man. Like, shit's crazy to me. So yeah, I get it. Like, people think that this kind of stuff's like really expensive. And I'm not saying it's cheap. But it's cheap when you really do the math. And as a finance nerd, I do the math on everything, right? So like, you know, you buy a phone. Say you spend $500 on your phone. You keep it for 3 years. That phone cost you $500. You know, if you resell it for after 3 years, I sell it for $100. That phone cost you $400 for those 3 years. And do the math on that. I mean, that's over $100 a year. That's like 130 something a year. You know, and I'll break that down monthly. What's 130 divided by 12? A little over $10 a month, people. A little over $10 a month. That's what that phone cost you. And then most Americans, they do the same thing right around again. Then they get back into another $500 phone for 3 years. And, you know, it is what it is. You want to spend $500 on a phone? Go for it. But, you know, you're spending that, break it down, per use. It's costing you like $10 to $14-ish a month for usage. And you're completely cool and oblivious to that, right? Like that, no issues there, man. But somebody spends $1,000 on a razor, where after years and years of use, it comes down to literally pennies a month. And somehow that's a big issue. It's an emotional game. Most people, we didn't even start to load. And I forgot to tell you guys what razor we're using. So I haven't brought this sucker out in a while. It's my Tatara Masamune with a feather first use. And I love Tatara. They're made in, shoot, I already forgot. I think they're made in Portugal, if I remember correctly. Has like a little samurai guy down there stamped on it. And these are very smooth, medium efficiency razors. And it's a stainless steel one. And even though it's stainless steel, it only weighs about 85 grams. So it's still in my weight preference. And it's stainless steel. And I just love it. It's just designed so well. It grips so well with these little like dots, divots in there. And it has a unique top. And this, actually, that little lip just slides right into the bottom plate right there. And they're just designed really well. Their packaging is like recycled, cork, reusable. So I just really like the idea of this company, and I like how well they engineered them. And if I remember right, they're actually engineers by trade. Decided to start making razors. Yeah, I should have probably started on the dome. Oh well. Luckily, it's just a little bit down here, so I don't need it to be extravagantly nice. But this is another one of those razors that I'm like, you know, I've told you guys I've thought about getting rid of some of these, and some people make fun of me because they're like, you have 60 brushes, but you think like having 4 razors that are smooth and medium efficiency is too much. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But the thing is, it does, because I'm not a huge fan of a medium efficiency razor. I'm a bigger fan of efficient and smooth razors. So for me, I wouldn't mind having another efficient, highly efficient, smooth razor, and that's why I bought that Diamondback to try it out, and it's really quite efficient and really smooth. So, like, I have no problems keeping and owning that one. And I think I've talked about it before, but the razors in that category for me that I own are the Tatara Masamune, the Carve Overlander in stainless steel, I would even put like the Alpha Outlaw Evo TI in that category. I thought the Diamondback TI was going to be in that category-ish, but I think the efficiency is a little too high for me to put it in that medium. It might still be a medium efficiency, but it's like the highest level of medium efficiency, if that makes sense, right? Like, I would either put it at the low end of highly efficient or the high end of medium efficiency. This is like dead middle of medium efficiency. This is not highly efficient. Same thing with the Carve Overlander. The Alpha Outlaw kind of falls in with the Diamondback TI to me. It's not super efficient. It might be at the low end of high efficiency or the very high end of medium efficiency. And I can already tell you, it could be also I'm sunburned, right? So, you know, that is going to affect how the shave goes, right? Like, if your face is sunburned, yeah, your shave might not go as smooth. Like this, I'm not getting any cuts or anything, but I am feeling like a little bit of pain. And I told you guys in my last video with the Diamondback TI, that's been the smoothest shaver on my neck so far out of all razors I've used. And like, again, this is a smooth razor, but it's not as smooth on my neck as, say, the Diamondback is. Which is interesting to me. Okay, I got a couple weepers. Ooh. Yeah, I got a couple little weepers that I guess didn't close off from yesterday's video. And what I'm doing now is just kind of reactivating all of that, seeing where everything's looking. Washing off the hands a little bit. And that's a pretty good cleanup. I still, like I said in the last couple of videos, I still haven't done the tops yet. I'm still not sure yet how I want to line it up. If I want to do a J-hook yet, or do I want to try to bring that down a little bit and just do a diagonal line? Because like you can see on this one's just naturally diagonal, even though there's a little bit of missing patch right here, but it's pretty diagonal. Where this one, it's kind of J-hooked and squared off. So I'm thinking maybe if I just take that corner out, I wouldn't even have to really do much on this side. Now I'm just going to leave this on here, and we're going to go straight to the dome. And you know, besides just the sunburn too, with my skin, feathers aren't my favorite blade. They used to be one of my favorite, but then I realized there's blades that are just as sharp, but smoother. That's my problem with the feathers. They're sharp. They feel super sharp to me, but they never feel super smooth. Oh, man. And I know other people that love feathers, so it's just, you know, it depends on you. And like I said, I used Astra SP greens and feathers only. Those were the only two blades I used for like the last 10 years. But these days, now, I think I like Gillette Nossets are probably my favorite blade. I don't know. I like Astra SP still, greens. I've started liking the Wizamets enough to where I bought 250 of them. But I don't know. Recently, like, I was using them more and more, and I started not liking them as much for some reason. I don't know why, but the last couple times I used the Wizamet, it just didn't seem as smooth as when I first started using them, because I used them for like 2 weeks straight, and I was, damn, this is a really good blade. So I decided to buy 250 of them. Yeah, maybe stupid. Maybe I should only bought 100. But it was right when the word came out that they were shutting down the factory in Russia. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll just get 250. This way I have 250. They're made in Russia. I know they're going to be the same. And then I kind of went back to Gillette Nossets. I'll use feathers every now and then. But yeah, the last 2 or 3 times I used the Wizamets, I was like, oh, these weren't as good as what I remember during that 2-week period. So, you know, it could have been the razor I was using too. You know, some razors don't work great with certain blades. But I tend to, that's why I like certain blades, because I feel like they work in everything for me. Like Gillette Nossets, super sharp. They're as sharp as a feather, but smoother, and they work in everything. The Astra SPs work in everything. First round on the head. And I gotta say, one that I've recently tried. Oh. That's weird. I didn't cut myself, but I just cut something off. But I didn't have a scab there. You can see kind of a little red blemish right there. I don't know if I had maybe a little blemish. And didn't realize it. Yeah, because it's got a little weeper on it now. Huh. Maybe I had a little blemish on my head and didn't even realize it. Which honestly wouldn't surprise me, because you guys remember on my last shave, I took down like 5 days worth of growth on the top of my head. So it wouldn't surprise me if I got like a couple little bumps here and there from my skin just not being used to being shaved. Man. And I gotta say, like, the scent on this is great. It's just very vanilla forward. and like a very nice warm spice. Honestly, probably a little bit better during cooler months, like fall, winter. But I would say it's approachable enough for spring and summer to me. Man, this razor is just so smooth. It's really crazy how smooth it is. It's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't sold it. Same thing with the Carve Overlander. What I love about the Carve Overlander is the against the grain. It's a phenomenal razor against the grain. Yeah, you can see the little blood spot now right there. My scab on top of my head did come off, so I don't think I need to worry about it, but I'm going to still try to be kind of careful. And you know what? Maybe I should just sell all my feather blades, because I really don't use them that often, and I'm not in love with them. I have a bunch. I have probably like 160, 180, because I got like 200, like with some software, with like some soap and splashes, as like kind of part of the bundle. So I got them really like cheap, like way cheaper than you'd buy them brand new. Okay. First pass done. That was a good first pass. Just going to use some of the extra little bit of lather in here. Get that and really scrub it in. Scent strength on this, it's a hard one because I smell it strongly, but the style of scent, I don't think you can make it very bold. But I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. Again, the Sago base to me is extremely elite. Such a great soap base. And what's interesting is I've heard Heather say, and maybe one other person say, that the Heather's vegan base is actually slicker, denser, and comes together faster. And Heather herself has said that, you know, Sago is what always sold. That's why almost all the soaps are made in Sago and not in both. But even to her, her vegan base was always the better base. Which is kind of crazy because everybody's always like, you know, animal fat, tallow is the only way. And here is an artisan that's like, yeah, my vegan is actually slicker and does a better job. It's kind of cool to me to see. That how far vegan bases have come. Because when I first started out, it was definitely vegan was king. There was no like if, ands, or buts, to be honest. There were some good vegan bases back then, like Katie Bubbles, PAA, SV, but man, they just didn't hold a candle to the tallow. But nowadays, there's definitely a much thinner line, I would say, between the two. Like, if you compare a good vegan base to a good tallow base, it's a lot closer of a race. Like You know, I've never tried Zingari Man's vegan base, so I can't really speak on that. But like Southern Witchcraft's vegan base, phenomenal. PA's is pretty good. Where PA's lacks, to me, is the hydration afterwards, post-shave feel. And I find it not as slick as Southern Witchcraft. And another one off the top of my head that's also really good vegan is Katie's Bubbles new formula. That shit is a banger. Like, that thing is better than some tallows I've tried. Honestly, same thing with Southern Witchcraft. Southern Witchcraft is a better vegan base than some tallows I've tried. Okay. And I might just go with... I might just go with 2 passes and a cleanup. We'll see. Just because I did get all that sun today, I don't want to overdo it on my skin. You know, my skin is already kind of, for better words, fucked up. You know, because the sun does damage to your skin, right? Just like shaving does. So you need to let it heal. And that's what, you know, the post-shave's for. That's what lotion's for. Let me get my towel. And a good way to avoid really wrecking your skin is, you know, take it easy. That's why today I decided to use the Tatara Masamune, because I wanted a more smooth, medium efficiency. I didn't want to take too much layers of skin off today. And it's okay to only do 2 passes, or 2 passes and a cleanup. Yeah, we are bleeding just a little bit. It's weird because I don't remember there being a bump there, but it definitely looks like I cut a bump off. It doesn't look like I nicked myself. But hopefully it'll be closed and healed up by tomorrow, so that way I can get another head shave in. Okay, we're going to put some of the splash on the neck first. Ooh. Ooh. See? This is why I have trouble stopping the splash game. So the splash is definitely a different scent than the soap. The splash, you get a lot more vanilla. There's vanilla. I get a little amber from the soap, but I get mainly the spice and the vanilla. With the splash, I get mainly vanilla and amber. And I think there's just a very light hint of spice in there. That's so good, man. And see, like, I wouldn't have been able to experience that if I didn't have the splash. I like this so much, I've thought about getting the matching EDP for it. But it's a great scent. I'm just not sure if I would wear it out in town, though. Like, definitely, like, chilling around my RV, this would be fucking great. You know, even, like, when I'm doing my stretching, yoga. Because it's such a good, like, warm, amber, vanilla scent that just kind of, like, calms me down and relaxes me. That would be something great. I've also thought about buying the soap bar, because I've never tried Zingari Man's soap. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just buy the soap bar instead. This way I can kind of chill out in the shower. Okay, I think we're good, guys. So we did have one little casualty right there. It's not bleeding anymore. It's not huge. Hopefully it does heal up. I felt like I had a couple little weepers on my neck, but I don't see anything bleeding. Overall, pretty happy with the hairline where it's at. It looks fairly even. Yeah, I just gotta eventually figure out where I want to cut that, or do I just leave it? You can definitely tell it's not symmetrical though, because that's the natural growth on the top. But that's what it is, guys. Appreciate you guys coming along. Quick recap. Today we used the Merchant from Zingari Man in the Sago base. Love the label. Love the soap. I would probably call it a bold and banging scent. I like it that much. We used the Tatara Masamune. Great razor, man. Even in stainless steel, it's only about 85 grams, so just pretty light for a stainless steel razor. You know, it weighs not much more than a lot of TI titanium razors. We used the feather. Not a huge fan. You know, I'll probably use it again tomorrow and then I'll toss it. I really need to reconsider just offloading all my feathers. Like, I have 150 of them just because I don't use them that often. But one thing I left out of the video is the next razor blade that I've used that I'm actually liking, and I'm thinking about buying like 100 of them, is the Permasharp. I'm kind of hesitant to, though, because that's what I did with the Wizamet. I used it for like 2 weeks. I had like a little pack of 5 of them, and I loved them. And I'm like, okay, cool, get 250. And I kind of feel that way with the Permasharp. I used it for like a week straight, and I was like, man, this thing is fucking great. Sharp, super smooth, worked in almost every razor I tried it in. But I'm afraid if I buy 100 of them, I'm going to be like, oh, they're not that great. So right now, my main blades are the Gillette Nosset, Astra SPs, and then I would say my third blade probably is Wizamet. My fourth blade is the Feather. But I'm thinking about, you know, replacing the feathers maybe with those Permasharps, or maybe just rocking 3 blades, who knows. We did use the PAA cube on the neck a little bit, just to kind of give it that extra little slickness, because, yeah, I don't know what it is, man. My neck's so sensitive. Again, it used to never be like this when I was a daily shaver, but now that I'm retired and I grow out facial hair, it's a lot more sensitive. Even now, you can kind of see a couple little red bumps. So I gotta, you know, just probably keep up with it. I just gotta keep cleaning that neck up every day, so that way my neck kind of the skin gets used to getting shaved again. My final B15 we used today was Cotton Candy. Love, love, love this pour. It's just it just makes me smile, honestly. It's just such a fun, bright, uplifting, fun, it's like a fun pour. It's bright, uplifting, and beautiful. Love, love, love it. So fucking nice. And the B15 is great, man. It's just cloud-like feel, but it has the soft scrub. Like, B14 cloud-like disappears. B15 cloud-like, but then you get a soft scrub with it. And that's why it's so unique, and I love them so much. I wouldn't mind finding another handle. I maybe might start looking for one more unique handle in B15 and try to maybe get rid of 2 more brushes for that one. Because I definitely don't need to have any more brushes. 60 is already a lot, and so if I get any more brushes, I need to get rid of 1 or 2. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming by, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.